Following instructions of President Lula, I come back before you again today with a profound sense of urgency and dismay. We must always bear in mind the human faces on both sides of the conflict. The Security Council holds meetings and hears speeches without being able to take a fundamental decision to end the human suffering on the ground. As thousands in Israel and Palestine mourn their loved ones, as Israelis agonize over the fate of hostages, as Gazans suffer under relentless military operations that are killing civilians, including an intolerable number of children, we have the means to get something done, and yet we repeatedly and shamefully fail. The price of inaction is unacceptably high. The growing urgency for the families of the hostages and the unbearable pain for the civilian population in Gaza cannot be understated. The positive first step taken by the UN bodies and agencies do not go far enough, as the escalation of the conflict makes the situation more dire by the hour. The relevance of a resolution of the Security Council lies on the need for sustained humanitarian aid and for granting safe working conditions for those involved in rescuing hostages and providing humanitarian work. The cessation of hostilities is therefore to the benefit of the civilian population on both sides. All the risk of reinstating the obvious, I want to put it bluntly. There cannot be rescuing of hostages and humanitarian aid under shells. In Brazil's view, the main goals are clear: the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages and the end of violence through whatever modalities can be agreed without further delay, so that rapid, safe, unhindered, and sufficient humanitarian aid can be delivered to the strained people of Gaza. Besides the 8,000 lives lost, many more are about to meet their fatal destiny, as hospitals have no means to keep providing basic treatment for the patients. Tanks and troops are on the ground in Gaza, and time for action is running out. My questions to you all are, if not now, when? How many more lives will be lost until we finally move from rhetoric to action? While every state has the right and duty to protect its citizens, actions must be consistent with international law and international humanitarian law, in particular, the principles of distinction, proportionality, precaution, military necessity, and humanity. The right and duty to protect a state's population cannot and should not come at the cost of more deaths of civilians and more destruction of civilian infrastructure. As the UN Secretary General Guterres has repeatedly reminded us, even wars have rules.